It's Sunday, March 21st, 2021. Before I start the video, please, if you want to support this channel, if you like this channel, even if you hate it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that bell notification so that you are alerted with the newest video. Also, I just dropped a new Patreon video this afternoon, so please come over to Patreon, check it out. If you're having a hard time finding it, go to the link down below to my website, and from my website you can get right to my Patreon page. Check it out. It really helps to support the channel. Let's get started. Making a video this evening, a little bit late, wasn't even going to make one, but I wanted to talk about something regarding real estate, and more specifically what we are seeing right here in the state of California. This article came out, this is from Fox 4, came out over the weekend. Couple buys Riverside dream home. That's in my county right here. But seller refuses to move out in eviction moratorium loophole. These people bought this house for $560,000 over a year ago and have not even been able to move into the home. This house was owned outright by the gentleman who still previously owned it and is still living in it. They can't get him out. And this is just more of the nonsense that we're seeing right here in the state of California, and this mess that we're going to see in real estate as at some point the mortgage forbearance is going to expire, the rent moratorium is going to expire. The courts are going to be so overwhelmed, and they already are. People are being evicted right now, not in masses yet, like we're going to see at some point down the road, but people are still being evicted. People are being sued, and there's people like this selling their home, took payment on the home. These people used their whole life savings, took a loan and used their whole life savings. Been over a year, they haven't been able to move into the house that they legally purchased because some dirtbag pulled off a scam like this. And we're seeing more of this taking place with Airbnb rentals also. People coming in saying, oh, I want to rent your property for a couple weeks or a weekend, and then they don't want to leave. And these people in states like California and many other states have rights. They're considered tenants. So if they rent your Airbnb for a weekend, they don't have to leave. There was another article I came across that this is a few years old, but right here in the Palm Springs area, a gentleman rented a property for, I believe it was 30 days and stayed. And the owner offered to just give him back his money. He wouldn't accept it, threatened to sue the owner of the Airbnb property. And so we're beginning to see more and more scams take place right here in California, and I'm sure it's happening all over America. But just imagine the pressure that so many landlords are under now. If their tenant is getting unemployment, out here it could be $450 a week plus $300 benefit, that's $750. So let's say it's a couple, that's $1,500 a week, and they're not paying their rent. And these landlords are going to be in very, very big trouble. And the renters are going to be in big trouble down the road too, because these landlords are going to go after them in court. These courts, again, are going to be so overwhelmed. And this is going to allow more scams, more nonsense like this with the Airbnbs, people selling houses and then not moving out. It's sad because it seems like good people have no rights now. If you're a criminal, if you want to be a scammer, it seems like the system is going to defend you, and it doesn't defend the law-abiding citizen, the buyer who took every dime that they had to purchase a house, and they can't even move into their own house. In the article also on this house that was sold in Riverside, the woman, the wife, went over to water the grass. The owner cut the hose so she couldn't even water the grass. So they're saying that the grass, all the trees, the palm trees are all dying, and now the property's falling apart. So they're just going to sit there and watch their investment, their new home, continue to decay for over a year. And eventually they'll get him out, but you can bet that before he leaves, he'll destroy the property, smash the walls, destroy the plumbing, whatever, and then leave. And then these people will have a huge bill on their hands. So it's just really crazy what we're watching take place. And just imagine what this is going to look like a year from now, what this could look like by fall. Again, we're going to see just more criminality take place. People are going to take advantage of the system. And then when they're forced to leave, they'll destroy the property. And it's going to be the landlord or the homeowner who's responsible for all this. Just really crazy. But I just wanted to bring this article up because I'm coming across more and more of these kind of stories. And feel free to comment down below if you've run into anything like this also. But the system is no doubt breaking down, melting down. The system does not work for you any longer. The taxpayer, the law-abiding citizen is absolutely getting taken to the cleaners here. It pays, I guess, to be a criminal. It really does. Because if you obey the law and you pay your bills on time, it doesn't matter. It seems like the people who don't pay are the ones being rewarded. So I'll share with you what their attorney, the owners of this property, what their attorney said. Eviction attorney Dennis Block says, this year alone, we've handled at least 7, maybe 8 cases of this exact type of situation. He says people purchasing homes need to be extremely cautious, especially if they notice any red flags during the process. Block says what's happening to the Alberts, buyers of this home, could happen to anyone. This person is not a tenant. It's a previous owner who is enjoying the benefits of the money that was transferred to his account, but of course doesn't want to move out of the premises that he no longer owns. So again, how in the world, if this escrow went through, this gentleman no longer is the owner, legal owner of the property, and he doesn't leave, and there's no recourse. This has been going on for over a year. Really scary stuff. The Alberts filed an unlawful detainer, but because of the California eviction moratorium, the case has been stalled. Time is simply passing by, and the immaculate house they fell in love with and know is becoming an eyesore. It's just incredible, and you got to really feel for people like this. But again, this is the system that we once trusted, and now the system is just completely melting down. And if it's this bad, and this is happening right now, can you imagine what this is all going to look like when these moratoriums expire, when the forbearances expire? The courts will be so overwhelmed. It's going to be a mess. So I guess the moral of the story is be cautious, very cautious. If you're buying a property, if you're selling a property, if you're renting a property, if you're renting a home out to somebody, if you're renting a home from somebody, be cautious if you're renting out an Airbnb. You know, it wasn't that long ago when people were paying their landlords and then getting a knock at the door for not paying rent when these people paid rent, never missed a rent payment, never late. But unfortunately, the landlords weren't paying the bank. They were defaulting on properties, and the renters were unaware of that. And so they would be getting a knock at the door and then eventually being evicted by the sheriff's department when they thought that they were paying the whole time, but the landlords weren't paying the bank. So now we're watching another scenario here take place, and we're going to see probably a lot of different scenarios take place here in the not so distant future. I also want to bring up another point. I was watching a video from a car rental company, exotic car rental company in Las Vegas, and they had rented a car. I think it was a Dodge Challenger Hellcat, and the car never came back. So they reported it stolen, and of course they have devices to find their cars. They found the car in Los Angeles, went to go get it, and lo and behold, to make a long story short, the individual who had the car claimed that he'd bought the car, had a title that looked very authentic. So he bought the car for $32,000 cash, got a title, it had a California license plate on it, and so there is just so much going on. You got to be so careful out there. So renting a house, buying a house, selling a house, renting out an Airbnb, buying a car used. Things are getting so sophisticated, and the criminals are getting so advanced where they can make a title that looks so authentic. And these kind of scams are going on, and we're going to see more of these kind of scams going on as people get more and more desperate. The criminals feed off of this, right? Everybody's looking for a good deal. Everybody's looking, for a good deal on rent or a good deal on a house or a good deal on a car. And so criminals are going to take advantage of this. So be very, very cautious. And you never know who you're renting to. People move in and they don't want to move out. So I want to close with this, though. We were out running a couple errands today. And again, I say this a lot, but more tents are popping up, more and more tents. I was over off the 10 freeway near a residential area, and on the other side of this residential area, right over a hill, another small encampment of tents and cardboard boxes. I've never seen it before. And coming up I-10, coming back, seen cars pulled over about a half a mile off the freeway into the desert. Cars, probably about 5 different cars parked under different bushes. So people are just living off the freeway, out in the desert, in the bushes. So they're popping up tents, sleeping in their cars, whatever. So seeing more and more of this taking place. I was at the gym today, and I've had an RV out by my gym in the parking lot that is there off and on. They move around quite a bit, either about a block over on a side street or in the parking lot. And they've been there now for about 6 months in the vicinity, just kind of moving around the parking lot in side streets, and with about 2 or 3 other cars. So it's like a caravan of homeless people living on this RV. Now we've got a swap meet in the parking lot, and this swap meet started a couple weeks ago. Now it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Maybe it'll go 7 days a week. This would have never been tolerated back in the day, swap meets in Palm Desert. But the parking lots are completely empty because all the stores are gone. And so now I guess you can just have a swap meet in these parking lots in Palm Desert. So something I never thought I would ever see in the city of Palm Desert, but here we are. Swap meets popping up, and they started out 2 days a week. Now they're gone to 3 days a week, and I'm sure it's just going to get bigger, and it could go more. It could go more than 3 days a week, and I'm sure that we're going to see more vendors out there and more people out there buying things because everybody's looking for the cheapest possible price. But I see shopping carts everywhere just thrown around in the parking lot now. I see, people that look a little bit questionable. But again, the parking lots are just going to waste because all the stores are gone. So now people are coming in from God knows where and setting up portable stores. So whether that's a good thing, bad thing, we'll see how it goes. But I don't know. Just setting up a swap meet in a parking lot in your city, I don't know. We'll see. So I'm not here to judge anybody. Maybe it's going to be a really good thing, but it just would have never happened a year ago, and how things have changed. But this is a sign of the times. Also, I want to say one more thing. I was watching the news last night in Anaheim. Somebody got run over by a car that they had jacked up trying to steal the catalytic converter off of a Prius. And a lot of people in the comments down below a couple weeks ago started writing in, telling me out in Yorba Linda, near the Anaheim area there, North Orange County, that there's just been a surge of catalytic converter thefts. And I'm like, how in the world do they do this? Well, they jack up a car and they saw the catalytic converter right off. And because there's precious metal in these catalytic converters, they're getting money and they're getting shipped off to China and other countries. And so I guess it's big business. So a guy jacked up a Prius, the thing rolled off the jack and killed him. So he won't be stealing any more catalytic converters. But who would have thought? Here we are, 2021, and there's an epidemic in Southern California of people stealing catalytic converters. So you could be wearing a $500,000 watch in Beverly Hills and be a victim of a crime, or your Prius can be parked outside and it could be jacked for its catalytic converter. It's absolute insanity what is going on, but there's no doubt we know where crime is going. It is gonna just go full blast. So be aware of your surroundings. Be very aware of your environment. A lot of things happening, and just a lot of people drifting now in their vans, cars, RVs that are just parked off into neighborhoods. They're parked off in parking lots. They're parked off the side of the freeway. They're living behind people's residential homes. So you don't know who these people are. I'm sure that most of them are good people, down on their luck, tough times, and no doubt we're going to see a lot more of it. But there's people out there who are not very nice people, who have criminal records, who are wandering around. You got to be careful out there, no doubt. But anyways, I wanted to just share that with you on this Sunday evening. Thank you all for tuning in. Please share the video with everyone, and we'll see what these markets do tomorrow. Look forward to talking to everybody in the next day or two, and we'll see what happens. So have a good weekend. God bless.